Welcome back. That is Jean-Michel Jarre. That is the artist. The song is Oxygen, Part 2. On the album Oxygen, that has a lot of parts. It's like 7 or 8, I don't remember. But every part is basically a song. And I think that's kind of the most famous one of the album. Part 2 is the most known, I would say, along with, I don't remember if part 1 or 4. I think it's 8th. Yeah, might be 8th. So, hang on. Just adjusting some stuff. Um, change this. There you go. You can see the spooky mirror. Alright, so you can already see some of the stuff here. So hang on, Jean-Michel Jarre. So whom's? Jean-Michel Jarre is the father, the absolute father of electronic music. He basically invented it. No, not really. He didn't invent it, but he was one of the big pillars of electronic music, kinda. Just like Kraftwerk, Kraftwerk, another one of the big pillars of what we know as electronic music, pretty much. But I'm definitely a fan of Jarre more than Kraftwerk. I actually don't like Kraftwerk very much. Find it too silly for my taste. Like, I'm okay with it. If I hear it, it's fine, but I don't actively seek Kraftwerk in my life. Jarre, on the other hand, I do actively seek it. And it's music you would hear from the planetary. Like, is that a building on English? Because here it is. We call it the planetario. The planetario. I don't know if it is a thing, but it's like this place, this weird place where you go and you like sit down and you see up, and there's like stories about the universe and the planets and stuff in like the sky. It's like a movie, but you look up, kinda, instead of to the front. It's not exactly up. It's like an sphere or thingy. And I actually think a lot of people know Jean-Michel Jarre just because of the planetary of Santiago. Like, a lot of people have gone to the planetary without, and they hear Jean-Michel Jarre most of the time without knowing. It's just because it's like cosmic music, so it works fine for that. All right, so Woodcraft showcase number 1. Basically, I think I'm gonna show as much as I can on like half an hour, maybe, or so. Let's see how much I can clean on that, because I do have a lot. You already can see some stuff here. It's a lot of it, so I don't know how much I can show. We'll see. So we can like aim for part 2, maybe part 3, even. Who knows? Today is only gonna be the small stuff, okay, or relatively small. I have some big stuff out there. We won't show those, although I already show this the other day, which is, listen, this is just for role playing. This is cardboard right here, the side. But this was like, it was nailed down and grinded a little bit to look as it is. It's very soft, actually. So nothing crazy, but we're gonna go for other stuff. So also, I put as like a soft surface here. Hopefully it's not a lot of noise. I guess we'll see. I guess I can put music too, with my typical playlist. Hang on. Is there a way to do this like random? Look playlist. Shuffle. Okay. That works. Probably too loud, isn't it? How about there? Is that better? There. Alright. So, okay. First one. So, something I do a lot on Woodcraft is weapons. Is the thing I do the most. I pretty much don't have anything else more than weapons. Because I like weapons. So this is a normal knife. Okay, it's just your regular ass knife. And so this was probably a plank. More so. It's very soft wood. Like this will break very easily. I could break it right here if I do this. It will break like instantly. Very, very soft. Definitely not a weapon. And it is a little bit burned. That was just like, kind of like the natural state of the wood. In a way. Natural, quote unquote, because it's, you know, it happened. Like it's a plank. So it's not actually completely natural state. But that was it. Now this one, another like dagger. This one probably from a broom, I would say. Kind of looks like it was a stick of a broom, you know. And those are actually fairly good. Like old brooms made of wood are very good. They usually have like decent wood, and you can do woodcraft out of that. And it's also actually like damage from erosion and like humidity, but it gives a little bit more natural aspect, I guess. So just a simple dagger with a little bit of a curve right here. Okay. Then we have the first machete. Is this one? This is the first machete. Can't totally tell it, but it's actually like grind down to the edge. It's a little bit, it's not perfect, but it basically tips. Let's see. Like it tips this way towards the edge. And it's cool. It's fine. It's soft wood, and actually very strong. This won't be that easy to break. And fairly like how do you say it? Sharp, just a little bit sharp to be wood, let's say. Now the problem of this one is that the handle is very narrow, really narrow, so it's actually uncomfortable to grab it a little bit. It kind of damaged your fingers, the inside of your fingers. I might adapt this one day to wrap something out on it, because I do that with some handles, but I just haven't done it. Alright. And there's this one, also almost as wide as a machete, but this one is kind of a different approach of a handle. It does work as a handle. I almost drop it. Like you can actually grab it like this, and it does work well. It doesn't feel that bad there. Probably not as effective, I would say, but it's fine. And you can also handle kind of like this. Probably useless to handle it like this, but it's fine. Actually, very sharp point. Like this could damage if you do it with force. And reasonably sharp to be wood again. This one also grinded to have tip towards like the entire blade this way. And this color right here is like the outside part of the wood. This was probably a plank too. So most of my works are out of planks that I find, like out there. Either it's the city or the countryside, whatever. Sometimes you just find a plank, like garbage. It does happen. And from time to time, I grab those and bring it home and I do something with it. And some others are from like natural sticks that are also like on the street or whatever, or on the countryside. This one also from a plank. You can clearly tell the color of the plank, the old wasted color, and like kind of like rusty, not exactly rusty because it's wood, but dirty. That's the word. And then you can see the actual color of the wood, which is the part you cut to keep the edge, kind of. There's another simple knife, a little bit ergonomic, but also very narrow. So also not that comfortable, honestly. Maybe for a smaller hand, I would say. But it does have a nice curve here. This is nice. Weather it, yeah, that works. This probably also was kind of a broom or something. Because it's an octagon form. And yeah, I think it did it naturally have the octagon? No, probably not, because it looks like I did this part. So it probably was a square and I cut the octagon form. Octagon's actually very good as handles compared to what you might think, like intuitively, that it's better to have a circle or something curved. Octagons are actually very good handles, like because it's better to grip and edge align because it doesn't move this way, you know. Yeah, hard to grip. Circles are hard to grip, exactly. And yeah, just a simple little knife. This one can actually make some damage because of how small it is. It's unlikely to break. Hang on, let's take one from a completely natural one. So this one is kind of a fang. I like this one. This one is from a root of a very old tree. So you can see a little bit of the texture of the root. Just a little bit. It's kind of weird. And so I took this weird root and I ended up making this kind of fang. And you can grab it kind of like a fang. You can use the circle right here. Press it against your hand. And do the fang movement if you want. Pretty cool. And I guess you can even grab it like this. Like a normal grip. It also works like that. Alright, now this one. So this one was also not exactly a plank. It's more like a board. A board that probably was like this wide, I would say. And like this narrow. Extremely narrow. This was like it's a kind of wood that is usually sold to make like I guess like little chips. Like you can make like wooden chips that will float in water very easily. I don't know. Yeah, and I just cut it from that. And yeah, the shape is cool. It's like ergonomic. So you can grab it like this and you can press your thumb again this part. So on that, so you can do this. And it kind of works the other way around too. Because you also have this on the other part. But this is not that uncomfortable. This one does work. But also extremely narrow, of course. But it has a nice, interesting shape. It can be Wolverine or Vega. Yeah, we're gonna be Vega later. Yeah, just wait. Just wait. Alright, so here's an interesting one. This one is very old. One of my earliest works. It's so old that actually has a problem. So, you see the general shape is here. It looks pretty good. Until you see it from the side. So, something happened here. What happened here is that I think this thing got watered or something. Or humidity or something. And it bent a lot. Like a whole lot from... This is from the side, you know? This should be like, let's see. This should be straight. And then the blade should also be straight on this direction. Because the actual curve is on this direction. And it is kind of a shame. Because this kind of a cookery. You know, it has the curve to the inside a little bit. So it was a cool design, but I have literally no way to fix this. So now it's just like that. Yeah. Yeah, heat and humidity. I probably leave it like outside maybe. I just don't do that anymore. Now I have like a special box for my stuff. Where I'm getting everything out of right now. This is the second machete. So this one is from a natural tree. Like a natural thing I found. Or isn't it? No, it's not. Okay. So this one is what I call an hybrid piece of wood. Okay. So hybrid. Why hybrid? Because this is a piece of wood, like a plank. Okay. But this was eroded a lot. So you can see this is kind of white. Like it's way more white. For example, this one is kind of yellow. This one is like full white. And that's because it was on a river. So rivers actually really good to find wood. You find wood that is just thrown on the river or something. Or like to the sides of the river. And they get eroded very nicely. With like the salt and all that. Not from the water, but from the rocks and stuff. Plus the sun and all those things. It gets a very nice color. And also is extremely soft on the surface. So it's really cool to just work this. But then on the inside, it's still like super hard. It's one of the best things to work with. For my taste, at least. Because I like to work with... I work with this, by the way. And a lot of people hate me for this. Especially woodcrafter. Like professional woodcrafters always hate on me. Because I work with this. This is my tool. I don't use anything else. To make my work. I actually hate the other tools. But it does work from what I do. It would this won't work on, let's say, you are trying to do like pictures. Like there's people that take like a big blank or something, like a square or something, and try to do a picture, and you need those tools that are like kind of like this, and you need to like hammer it a little bit. Yeah, you cannot do that with this. But I don't care because I don't do that. I just do weapons. So this one is pretty cool. Also has a very nice curve right here. I really like this curve right here. Like, just like this. And yeah, this was also... This is a branch. So you can see a little bit of the shape and the surface of the branch. So that's like, quote unquote, dirty. It's not actually dirty because I clean it, but it has this pigment, if you want, I don't know. And then the natural color of the blade. That's something I really like about working with sticks. That you can just grind out the blade and it will naturally have a different color, right? From the grip. Just because of how wood works, you know? And how the time makes it more like dirty and more obscure, more dark on one part. Also, this one, fairly hard. So, dangerous. Alright. Next. Okay. So this one is a little bit different. This is one of the few ones where I did some, like, experimental stuff with grip. So the blade doesn't, it's nothing. It's actually, like, so small and so narrow, and it will break very easily. The important thing is the grip here. It's a snake. So there it is. And it's circling around the thingy. And then it comes again. And that's the snake face. Yeah, and I tried to keep the natural... This is a stick, by the way. The natural, like, surface of the stick. But it fell a little bit on that part. Like, just that part. But all the rest, I was able to pretty much keep it. It's this guy, yeah. So yeah, it's a cool concept. I do like what I did with this. Alright, this one, I'm like almost sure this was like roughly inspired by the sacrificial dagger of Eternal, because I had a tendency of getting inspiration from some games to make some of my stuff, and this has that shape, the like serpent thingy on the curve. It's from a plank, like a very narrow plank. I can barely see it because it's so fucking narrow. And yeah, the dirty color of the used plank, because remember, all these planks, these are not stuff I bought, you know, the stuff I found on the street or on the countryside. So they're dirty when I found them, and then I cleaned them. But even if you clean them, they still retain some of this like dirty color after that. But then you work the blade or something, and it will get a different color on those parts. So you will get this effect of different colors. Yeah, exactly. Okay, there's another one with an interesting curve. And also from a stick found on a river. I can tell for the color. This was definitely from a river, and because of the erosion here, because it's like almost open there. That's also very common when you find stuff on rivers. And yeah, it's like small. This size better. I love this song so much. And yeah, I just really like this little curve right here. And I was able to work all this because this wood is so fucking good to work with. It's like so pleasant to work with. And you can also see, okay, so this is interesting. You see these little holes? Like this hole right here. It's the same of these holes too. And this one right here. Those are holes of worms, basically. So there's like worms that go into this thing, and they slowly eat the thingy and make a tunnel. And once they're like big enough, they convert into moths, I think. or butterflies, I guess. But I think it's moths. And they can get pretty big. There was one time where we found a big trunk, super big trunk, on the river. And it was a moment of my life where I like to destroy everything, so I just went to it and I kick it. I kick it for no reason. It was on the river. So it opened up after I kick it. Not because I'm strong, just because it was completely eroded inside. It opened up, and on the inside there was a lot of worms. But I'm not talking about the disgusting worms. No, no, no. These are like... I mean, maybe it's disgusting for you, I'm sorry, but these actually are very cute. Because they're like white, and they kind of have like a face, and they pulsate when they move. It's so weird, but they're very cute for me, at least. And there was... some of them was like this thick. Like, no joke. You know? No, they were fine. They were fine. Don't worry. They just have an earthquake. Pretty much. But they just kept doing their thing. They didn't really care that much. I don't think I kill a single one. I just leave it there after. But yeah, they were so cute, actually, and so big. I've never seen worms that big. Okay, so this one. This one also has an awesome curve. I love the curve of this one. The tip is a little bit, like, scuffed. Like, I don't think I did my best work with the tip, but that's also because of worms. Pretty much. Sometimes you just gotta deal with that. Because what they do is they actually feel the space. So they're making their way, doing a tunnel, but then they're feeling the space behind them, probably with worm excrement, I guess, or whatever they leave behind. But it's actually like, it's like different kind of wood, like very soft or something. And you can just get rid of it, of course. But then it leaves behind the hole. And yeah, the guard is pretty cool. And that's because he has all these holes and all that. And it's very soft and very comfortable too. It's a very nice curve to cut. Probably like leaves or something, if it was an actual blade. Pretty cool stuff. Also from the river. Almost looked like a bone. Yeah, pretty much. Alright. Go for this one. So this one also from a branch. A very good branch. I do remember a friend of mine put this like the dragon knife. Because why not? And it has a cool cure. This wood is actually extremely soft. And like, it's kind of bad in a way. I mean, it's fine to work with, but it's so fucking soft. Like, this will break very easily. Extremely easy to break. It's very delicate. And the thing about this wood is that it has this core. So you see the different color here? This is the core of the branch, and it's very soft. You can like put your nail here, like put it a little bit inside, and it will make a hole, you know, with the shape of your nail. It's really, really soft. So that's why it's like, it's easy to work, but also at the same time a little bit hard, because you might just break it while you work with this. But it has a nice guard. It's a little bit long though, but because you can't really fit your fingers here, there's no way. It's too small, maybe like extremely small, like child fingers, baby fingers even. There's still a long distance that you're like losing, but it looks fine. I like it. It's cool regardless. Yeah, you can only use the blade once. It's like an arrow. All right. Next, this. All right. So this is the moai. So a similar concept to the snake. Actually, same. Probably the same stick. That it was like a big stick, and I cut it on several parts. I imagine. So the blade is a little bit more complex than the other one. I mean, it's still simple, but it does the job. Simple knife blade, kind of. And then the grip is the interesting part. So it's a moai. If you know what moais are, this is one. Now the nose is a little bit small. It's like cut because that's as much material as I had to work with. So it doesn't have the biggest nose because moais actually have very pronounced nose. But it's still fine. I still like it. There is a little bit out of focus, but whatever. Yeah, you gotta work with what you had. Yeah, and this was also very hard to grind. But it worked nicely. Alright, next. The twin blades. So this was a long plank. Probably like this, I would imagine. Probably longer even. Narrow, long plank found somewhere, and this worked very good. I really like to do twin blades, like two blades or two swords that are like exactly the same or that complement each other. And yeah, just like you said, very pleasant. Like, just, I don't know, just love it. It's kind of simple design. You can see it from there. But again, it has this different color from the part that has been worked versus the rest that is like more dirty. Is slightly ergonomic. They are a little bit narrow, so it's not that comfortable depending on the size of your hands. But it's still fine, and it's just pleasant, like pointy blades. I just like it. Yeah, a knife that look like that once. Nice. Yeah, I love these ones. Simple, full blades. So now, so this, what is this? This is nothing, by the way. I'm just gonna show this for the sake of it. This is meant to be a weapon at some point. So it does have the overall shape, but it hasn't been worked. This is a plank, exactly. This is just to show you the kind of stuff I work with, you know? Like, this is how they look when I start, usually. This is a very good one, though. Like, I got this one on the countryside, and I think, was it Alerce or something? But it's like very, very good. It's very, very, like, strong. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. And yeah, so this is meant to be a good knife at some point. I just haven't found the time to work with this. Alright, this is one of my favorites. So this is the Velociraptor claw. Like, when I made this, I thought immediately of the typical, the famous Velociraptor claw from like Jurassic Park. And it's one of those that, also from the river, you see this one is full white. Even more so than other ones. So this is like, I guess it's calcium or something, that you get this kind of color on the river. And then you see the actual color of the wood right there. Kind of like a bird too, if you want. And can grab it like that if you want, or even like this, like the actual claw. It's really cool. I love it. It's a little bit curved, which I think it was either from erosion or maybe I just worked with the curve, I think. You can see it there. That's fine. Yeah, it's like a bone because of the color, exactly. Okay, so now this. What is this madness? What is this fucking madness? I need space. The spine of the word. Makes sense. Talking about bones. Alright. Let me organize this a little bit so I can take this with the correct size. But you already know what's going on. One more. Ah. Okay. There you go. So these are the claws we were talking about last time. And yeah. It's just like when I saw this wood and I saw what I could do with it, I just had to do it. Like, come on, it was just perfect. It was fucking perfect. So you can do that like this, why not? And it just works great. Now you could do like, maybe you can find a way to connect this, make it more easier to handle and all that, but it still kind of works. It just takes a lot of work to like put them. But yeah, what the fuck is this? This is like very interesting because this is not normal wood. This is not wood you will get from a tree. First of all, not from a tree, but from a different kind of plant. Oh look, it even looks great like this. Like that. Great. So this is from an agave. An agave is a succulent. It's specifically from Agave americana, which is a very common succulent here on Chile and on Mexico. Give me a second. No, not showing. Behind. There you go. So Agave americana, this one. You probably know it. You've probably seen it somewhere. It's a fairly common plant. So how I'm getting wood out of this? Well, agaves actually bloom once in their life. And then they die because they are monocarpic. Some plants do that for some reason. And when they bloom, they grow up a trunk that goes up in the sky and has nice flowers. Like this. And the trunk, I've never actually worked with the trunk. This is from the branches. So you can kind of see the curve a little bit on the branches that goes towards the flowers. That is what I work with to do this. So the trunk, I think, goes like this, and this kind of goes like this, and then probably the other way around. I'm guessing, I think the branch kind of goes like this. So this is the trunk, and this is kind of the shape of the branch, and then here are the flowers. So you would get several branches. This. So they bloom once per lifetime. Then they dry up, and once they dry up, the trunk eventually goes down. And when it goes down, you can use it. And that's what I did. I just found an old trunk that was on the ground. I cut some of the branches and got this work. Is it agave? Yeah, you make it from agave tequilana, I think it's called. For obvious reasons. It's a different species, but same genre of plants. This is agave americana. You make tequila from agave tequilana, I think. It's that the name? Or something like that. Yeah, I really love. I actually had an americana once, but it died. It dried. So I mean, it didn't dry. It got overwatered actually, which is the opposite. Kind of want to have another one. They also like take a whole lot of time to bloom. Like they take years. It can be like 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. It varies a lot, but they can take a whole lot just to bloom once and then die. It's something about like monocarpic plants do something about like they use all their vital energy to bloom. Like imagine if you would do that. You would use all your vital energy of your entire life to have sex one time and then die. Because that's pretty much what they do, you know, like when plants bloom, like having sex. And this, what is this? This is the complete branch, kinda. So trunk, branch, flowers. This is the end of the branch, probably like that. So you can see from where I got this shape, pretty much. You see? I leave this one in like complete to make its own thing. It's kind of like an ice pick if you want. So I grind down this part a little bit, so it has a different color. That's the handle. Then put this little like leaves here, and you can actually see the color of like the kind of the original color. More so, it's actually green when they bloom, but then they dry up. They get this color, a little bit white on some parts, probably eroded too. And then this is the part that cuts from the, like I got this cut. I probably just rip it from the trunk, and it just happened to have this spike right here. And this is very, very stiff actually. Super good wood. Surprisingly, not from a tree. You know? So this can do several damage. For sure. And I like the shape of this. It's very good. Like something you would see on a horror movie or something. Or a horror game. Or an enemy with this shit. You know? Okay. How much do we have? So I do have a couple more. Do you want me to show them or not? Or do we stop now? It's like 3 more, I think. I could stop here. Okay. Let's show a couple. So, alright, this is a weird one. This is actually not a blade or a knife. What the fuck is this? So first of all, it's a root, okay? So it's a root from a big tree, okay? So you can see this very, very weird shape that you can get from roots. So this is actually a gun, okay? You gotta believe me on that. It's a gun. You grab it like this, choose from here, okay? This is the ammo. So this is the magazine. You would take this part off, okay, and then put it again. And then you can like, it's basically a submachine gun or something like that. So you can grab it like this. And like, so you take the magazine, you put it, and then you move this thing this way, like, and then just shoot or whatever. And this part is like, I don't know, it's just there. It's kind of cool. And yeah, so this is something a little bit different. I just worked with the shape I had. This had more like parts. I cut them to give it this shape, and I work it. It's very soft too. Like here you can kind of see the actual color of the root a little bit. So you can see how much this was work to lose this color, because all of this has a different color. And yeah, it's actually fairly comfortable to grab. Only on your left hand. You can tell I'm a lefty, because from the right hand, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's so fucking uncomfortable. But I don't care. I don't care. I'm lefty. Alright, so this is an ice pick. I did this one actually did just the other day. All of the other ones are from years ago in the past. Everything, it's from years ago. This one, though, only like a week old, more or less. And I'm very, very pleased with this one, because I still have it. I still fucking have it. So this was a blank. You can see here, it was a triangle. This kind of triangle. There you go. And just imagine that same form, like a triangle prism, going all the way until here. So what I did is I cut some for the handle. This is actually way narrower. And I grab around some old clothes I have. This is why I never get rid of my clothes, because I can always use the old clothes for stuff like this. So this goes very nicely on the hand. Super comfortable, I love it. And it has this part at the end. The pommel, I think it's called, usually. And then, so here, let's see. What I did is, I took like these sides of the triangle. I cut like here, for example. Here, here, and here. So the 3 points, I cut it, I nailed it down to the tip. So I don't know if I can actually show you that, but it's a very weird shape. Kind of a triangle over a triangle, you know? Super interesting shape. And it makes for such a cool point. Like, this is actually super dangerous. Because it's a strong wood, and it's like super ultra pointy because of this shape, this weird shape. I can kind of see it a little bit. But yeah, it goes that way, this way, and this way. So it's not really it's like a triple edge or something, kinda, towards the tip. Super, super good work. Super proud of this one. And my most modern work, actually. Okay, 2 more to go. So these are also twin knives. A lot of cloth on these ones. So this is part of my modern work. Not as modern as this one, but let's say this is postmodern, okay? This is modern in the sense of, at some point, I got really fancy with scabbards and using clothing for more stuff on my work. And you can actually see that on we're gonna see that on part 2 of Woodcraft, with bigger stuff and some, I guess, spoilers, katanas and stuff. So yeah, this is one of my first attempts at doing something like that. Get rid of this. So it has a scabbard like this. This is from an old jeans, kind of a little bit military jeans, I would say, kind of. And so you can see this part is the belt of the jeans, basically. It's the belt part. And then you can take it off, right? And it has this shape. Let's take the other one off too. So this big plank, probably like this narrow, this long, cut it in two, and work with this weird shape. Mostly because I wanted to... Okay, so I did this part of the handle. Semi-ergonomic, not that ergonomic actually. It just feels fine. It's not great, but it's fine. And then it has this part. The blade starts here. You can see the line right there. That part. And it tips on both sides. Kinda. And then this shape right here was kind of made to do this in a way. So you can actually use it like this a little bit. Like that. Yo, Julie, here you do. So you can attack like this, you know? It's kind of like a guitar if you want. Kind of works a little bit like a guitar. Or you can just use it as blades. Or knives, whatever. And yeah, I really like the shape of these ones. Like, pretty cool. And the fact that they have their own scabbard. Can put it there. Put this one there. And then you drop it down. Sorry for that. Try it again. It's the silker. Alright. There you go. So you can put this on your belt if you want. That's kind of the cool thing. Like, and show it or not. Kind of like that. Not actually my belt. Not quite my belt. But just to show you, like, because I would need to stand up. But it kind of goes here on the sides, you know, both. So then you can, or cross, I guess. All right. One more. Last one. This probably my last work from the modern era. Or I guess Sizer Blade was the last one. Maybe the second to last one from the modern era. So way before this was made. Okay. So this is the combat knife. Also one of my best works ever. So the combat knife, you can see there. So this is the part that you will wrap around your belt. Very good scabbard. It's amazing. I love it. Also old jeans here. And this is from an old coat. It's the part you will have like down here. Close to your belt. Which is very handy because it's very elastic. Because, you know, it's a lot of room. And it works fantastic for that, for the belt. The handle, so this material right here, I'm not entirely sure what is this. But there's basically like, it kinda is like leather. It's similar to leather. I think it's synthetic leather. And I just kinda glue it down a little bit. And then I work with a very narrow plank. So here's the combat knife. So it's this narrow. That's how narrow it is. So it was one plank. I cut the handle very narrow, leave this part for the pommel, then grab around this material, and then cut an entire piece. So here, the guard, it's a rectangle that is hollow. I cut the central part and I put it from here up to here and then glue it. It was one of the hardest parts to fucking cut that thing. Remember, this is my tool. And I do everything with this. It sounds a little bit stupid, but yeah, it was hard. And it does have a little bit of a shape. Just a little bit. Focus, out of focus, it's not quite working, but it does have a tiny bit of work. And then there's these things, of course. I was thinking on cutting them down, like, completely, but then I was afraid to fuck up the knife. And the end is steep on both sides. And the curve of the blade, the edge is actually very nice. Like, this was some very good grinding work that I did. Extremely soft to like touch. Like, doing this is very pleasant. Okay. And yet extremely hard. This is like a dangerous weapon. Okay, it's like almost a knife. And what else? You can see it has a little bit of shine, like a tiny bit. Maybe you can see it. That is a side effect of the scabbard. So the other scabbard I show you, that one I did it with cardboard, just straight cardboard. I just took cardboard, you know, fold it a little bit. It's like good cardboard though, and then wrap it around with stuff. This one is not covered. This one is, it's like, I don't know how it's called. It's kind of like metal paper, but it's not the same as metal paper because it's like a fence, like a tiny fence. I don't know if you can see it. Camera, please. You see it for a little bit. Like a tiny fence that is sold as like a piece of paper. If you want, you will get a big one like this. So then I can like do that, and it's very stiff actually. It gives a very nice, like, it doesn't get, you know, out of place or out of shape. And then, so yeah, this thing, the touching, I guess, between the scabbard and the knife is what gives this shine. It has a little bit of a shine. It's because of the interaction between the blade and the scabbard, which is fine. I actually like it. And this actually, like, it holds there very well because of the good scabbard. That's the good thing about this scabbard. It pressures against it, press against it very well. So you can hear it. You can hear this sample. And then yeah, you can put it on your belt. You can put it on your leg too, like wrap it around your leg. I actually did that a couple times when it was dangerous to go outside. But yeah, it's good. It's probably one of my best works. And I have more similar to this. That's gonna be for part 2, okay? So stay tuned for, it's probably gonna be on future, because next challenge would be something else. I think. I'm not sure what yet, but need to think about something. And yeah, I have a mess here, kinda. Everything's here. Well, not everything, but a lot of stuff is there. The rest is on the box. Yeah, I actually got to show the entire box. That's kind of cool. So next time it'll be only the big stuff. So from big, we'll say, like, what's the biggest one we showed today? Maybe this one was kind of the biggest, a little bit. So next time everything will be bigger than this. I still don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do that to fit it on camera. I may need to go full body or something on camera to actually show you the, you know, the size and the dimension of things. Because we're talking stuff like this to like, yeah, a whole lot. Yeah. Hope you like it. Oh, did that work? Thus breaking the illusion that you have no legs. Yeah. Super intrigued. Yeah. I mean, you've seen one of them. Oh, this camera. Hang on. No. This one. There you go. Like, because when I speedrun on the TV, which is on this side, I would put the camera on the other side. So then the camera is coming from this side, on this angle, and then you can see behind, on this behind, and this behind is that behind, and that has the scissor blade, along with the belt collection. I'm still gonna show it again. I mean, I've shown it multiple times. I showed it with my Ryuko cosplay. Because I actually have a Ryuko cosplay. The like schoolgirl Ryuko. I would do the other one, but it's too hard. Like, I'm not really concerned about my body. I'm more concerned about the fucking cosplay that is so hard to do. Because it's like, it has some very weird, intricate parts. It's not just, you know, like, use lingerie. No. It's not as simple as that. It's way easier to get a sailor uniform, believe me. Yeah, no, those are very hard cosplays. If anyone on the hotfix noticed it, yeah, I wonder too. I always wonder that, because I started doing all that, putting that behind, just to see if people will notice. And because it's cool, I can get to show it, you know? I always wonder how many people actually notice the scissor blade on the back. Alright. So now I leave. Thank you everyone for watching. Again. And soon, next time, we're gonna get that Sub 120. Probably. I already got my Deathless. Now I need to get a better Deathless. A Scuffless. Something like that. Also, I'm kind of curious, so I'll see later how much time I actually waste on Hell. That fucking level. Deathless 2, exactly.